I think we are live too, so we are bypassing an intro and all that kind of shit. Like everything's going swimmingly.
Oh, you know, I don't know if you know this. You know, you're not vertical, right? I've never got it to work.
Okay, hang on. People, thank you for coming here. We're gonna be testing stuff. Luthien, what'd you say? Are we successfully vertical? Yeah, we're vertical.
We are?
You just have
All
to
right,
be streaming directly to a vertical style of thing. Yeah. Hey, people, new show. Things are going to be different. Our contention, Christianity and MAGA are destroying America. If you would like to contend with us,
True.
Call the number right now. It is 133. And to explain the number breakup, it's because it's easier to remember this way. I almost did 133, but not having an area code seemed weird, 133 dash, but the phone number is 1-336543210. It's pretty great. 1-336543210.
You're getting so quiet.
Okay, so something crazy is happening, my people.
Like it's still going down.
Right. And we have no idea why. Yeah. I'm like messing with it. There is some kind of like audio trigger somewhere in vMix, but for some reason it's only targeting my microphone and it's making me quieter and quieter as we go. So this is a thing that we saw not coming at all. So welcome everybody. This is the new show, Calling It Now, and you are going to enjoy us figuring out stuff as we go. And Jovan is mostly going to be driving right now while I try to figure out why the fuck this is happening.
I'm gonna have to because Jimmy sure can't drive.
Not like this. What if I leave the audio monitor open like this? Am I still going down? I feel like I am, but it's just not showing me that I am.
You got to keep talking. You have to talk more than that.
That's true. That's true.
No, you're definitely going down. You're definitely going. Well, keep going. Keep talking.
Hello. This is Cheeseburger Guy. And I like cheeseburgers. Why don't you introduce stuff and we'll see if we can start getting some callers going because this is phenomenally frustrating.
Hey, guys.
If it's still doing it without talking.
Jimmy needs to go Google real quick. Anyway, hi everybody. It's me, Jovan Bradley. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Jimmy put the phone number on the screen because he thought it makes more sense in his autistic brain that the number reads that way. But to every person that's looked at a phone number for their entire lives, it's very confusing. For all of us who have been looking at phone numbers for how long have phone numbers existed? We all, but the number 336-543-2101. If you want to give us a call,
I'll change it to accommodate your neurotypical brains.
My autism goes. That's not how phone numbers work.
5432101. All right, whatever. We were making a song next.
We are looking for debates. Talking about how MAGA and Christianity are both just destroying America. But I still think it's not pushing us out to the shorts. I think we might be vertical, but I think we might not be being pushed out to shorts. I don't know how to check that, though. I don't know that there's a way to check that we are on the shorts feed. Oh, wait. I wonder if I can just search in shorts. Either way, hey,
periodically,
hi guys.
I guess we asked the audience if they got here from shorts too, like if we showed up in
from shorts as opposed to if they just clicked on your.
Yeah.
No, we're definitely in shorts. I see it here. I went onto your page, and when I'm looking at your thing, the shorts thing is highlighted on my phone. So I think we're good to go. So if you disagree with any of these, preferably like hardcore disagree, feel free to call in while Jimmy is getting his stuff corrected. It's my show. So I also, if you want to call in and tell me your favorite movie, and I'll tell you why it's bad. Because most people like bad movies. Also, everybody, just so we're I too am in shorts. Okay, it's good to see that people are clicking in from the short feed. That's what we need. That's what we needed. That's what we wanted to see. I'm monitoring live chat just because I like to see what people are saying and talking about. So I want to know how you guys feel. Are we doing same as usual? $5 super chats or more will
Not
be read
today.
at the end.
We don't on Sundays.
Not
We don't
today?
usually read super chats. We try to dedicate everything to calls.
So you heard it here first. Jimmy doesn't want to hear what you have to say.
Well, we also have a hard stop at 7 because we have to move it to the Sunday show after dark.
Your 7 or my 7?
Mine, your 8.
Okay. I am an 8. Thank you. So we are looking for those core MAGA heads, those core Christians. Listen, don't call in and ask me about like, well, what about spirituality? Fine. I've learned within the last month, I really just hate the like Abrahamic religions. I'm like laser focused. How do I destroy Christianity at its core? So call in about those guys. Call in if you support Donald Timothy Trump. Especially if you support any of the stuff he's been doing lately, like bringing sex offenders into the White House to work on programs for children. If you support that, would love to hear you defend that. I had one person defend it on my channel last week. I'd love to know if more people are going to. I think the last digit of the phone number is cut off. Jimmy, if you are possibly in vMix, the last digit of the number cuts off. I'm showing you on my phone screen right now. If you look at the screen,
that means that the framing is bad on.
You just need to move the phone number over, add some spaces.
Yeah, that's the goal,
and it'll be totally fine.
Oh,
so that way people can call in, and they can let us know. I can just sit here and shit talk Trump for 2 hours. By the way, totally fine, totally easy to do if MAGAs don't feel like calling in. I'm totally fine to just sit here and shit talk Trump.
I have to.
That is honestly
because of the alignment. So I hope that letter T is cut off. I'm gonna do a little letter C. It's weird. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll tell you once my shorts, because there's a delay. So I'll tell you as soon as the shorts.
Yeah.
As soon as the shorts.
But where are the people? Okay, let's see. I think.
I can see it now. It looks good now.
This has never happened in the history of the show. And I'm still
That's because vMix said this is Jovan's show. I don't know why you're confused. I am the draw here. People want to hear me talk about Trump specifically.
I don't even disagree. I feel similarly. Fuck, it gets so quiet.
Oh, there he is. There's got to be a setting you're missing.
Yeah,
is there another piece of software?
I was doing
your
a show
microphone?
just the other day, but that's what I'm trying to figure out. I feel like installing Zoom for Business has adjusted some kind of setting somewhere else that has affected this or something. I'm working on it.
I'm just gonna give you a visual representation every time it starts happening. Well, this is kind of feels like cosmic karma, because remember the last time we were together, I was the one with all the audio issues. Now you're the one with all the audio issues. Although mine were cool, it just made my voice deep like God. Okay, we need to get some sheathheads callers. So let's see if we can't get anybody in here who disagrees with any of the topics we're talking about. I want to know if you disagree. I mean, if you want to call in to like Glaze Jimmy or something, that's fine. If you want to call in to Glaze, don't call in to Glaze me, because my autism won't like that. But if you want to call in to like Glaze Jimmy Snow, I guess that's fine. But like realistically, we want people who are gonna butt heads with us, who are gonna tell us, make Jimmy pronounce Jovan. That'd be
do not call in to Glaze me. Jovanathan is how I now remember it. Jovan.
Yeah. He has to like remember black names by making them sound slightly white, and then he can pronounce the black name.
You're the first person I ever met named Jovan. So if somebody had been like, tell us which race this name comes from, I would not have. I'd have thought Jovan was French.
It is a French name.
Well, there we go. The French.
He's low again. But French, Creole, black. Lines are open. Let's see. Wait, actually do you think the caller's volume will do the same thing yours is doing?
Let's just give me a minute to keep working on stuff, and let's not quite. Oh my God, you probably can't even hear me. Give me a minute to keep working on stuff. Give me like 5 before we start a call without me.
We're gonna take 5 minutes. I ate a cracker forgetting I'm the no, but I ate a cracker forgetting that your mic has problems, and I'm like, oh no man, I gotta really quickly finish this cracker. I wanted to show this to Jimmy, so I went to a comic convention this weekend, or a comic convention, like an animation convention, and I got this, which is so sick. I just have to learn where I want to put it. They had all of them, and now I'm kicking myself that I didn't get blue, green, and yellow, and that I only got red. But I was like, I only need red. Red's my favorite. Why didn't I get the rest? I'm actually kicking myself now. How dare I? But I got to figure out where to put it. If I had gotten all of them, I could have put it right there, chat. Like, it could have all gone under my television. But that's my mess up. Maybe I can find them. I have the business card for the people that made them. Maybe they sell them online. Don't eat crackers. That's offensive to Jimmy's people. Holy shit.
I am positive that between the two of us, I say way more racist things about white people than you do.
Well, I sent you a message I like direct message you on Discord, a GIF that I want to post in the server you sent me. But I wanted to get your approval on if everybody in there would be cool with me posting a GIF or not.
The only reason they might not be is only to do with the fact that we do not socialize in that server. It's like work only.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would post that. I'd post that on like my office Microsoft Teams chat. I think that would be
I thought I found the very fix funny. And then I didn't. And that's just making me so mad.
Well, we know that you don't know how technology works. That's what we're learning here.
This is really undermining my whole I'm a god of whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I remember being told specifically by somebody whose name rhymes with Yimmy Blow, that to show up 30 minutes early to make sure if there's any.
Okay, we're back.
He literally nuked the stream.
Not on purpose. We're back. I was here 4 hours ago working on tech, but okay, hang on. Let's move this up. Boom, close. Look at it again. No, it's still doing it. Oh my fucking God. Everything I am turning off manual control or automatic control of is not. Something is wildly wrong.
You Googled it? Did you Google it?
You?
I'm just making sure you Googled it.
Yeah, I Googled it.
You never know.
All right, I know what my backup plan is. It just isn't my favorite plan in the world, but it should work. If you can just like...
Jimmy, there's an auto gain control tick box in the Windows sound setting for the audio capture device under advanced.
I know that. And I have already both tried it. I've both tried that checked and unchecked, and now I've removed in vMix's advanced settings and Windows settings.
He's low again, chat.
Control, and it's still being fucking crazy. I'll get it. I'll find. I've got a backup plan. We're going with the backup plan. It's just going to take me a minute, so I'm going to put you solo on the screen for a minute, and then we'll be back.
Hey, everybody! It's the hey. Okay, I'm still waiting on calls that disagree. I'm waiting on calls that disagree. Are there callers that disagree with us, or is it just people that agree with us? That's what I need to know right now. Are we going to get somebody calling in to tell me why MAGA is good for America? Is somebody going to tell me why Christianity is good? Even better, if you can tell me why Christian nationalism might be good for America. I think, okay, I have been, first of all, I've been going through like some conservative content creators because I'm like, okay, I gotta start responding to more of the Kirks of the world. I didn't know Matt Walsh literally just calls himself a fascist. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know he just like outwardly proudly is like, yo, I'm a fascist. That's a new one for me. This is the first I'm hearing of this. So if you can defend your boys, right, these master debaters of the right, I would love to hear it. Every time I've watched any of Kirk or Walsh, or the only one that I think is actually like a good debater is Shapiro. I think Kirk is a terrible debater. Like he's not actually good at debate. But you can see it anytime he's up against somebody that he can't just like interrupt 100 times. He's terrible. He doesn't know what to do if he can't, you know. Walsh is terrible. Walsh is even worse. Walsh is just a podcaster, so I don't even know why he at any point tries to like argue against people. He's not a researcher, so he's never researched anything in his life. And then, as much as I don't like him, I think Shapiro is the only one that actually has like some level of debate skills. He would be the only person that I would even remotely classify in that vein. Everybody else, terrible. You name me who the right has as good debaters. I want to know. Again, Shapiro's the only one, but even then, I think Shapiro, once you get him off his script, he fumbles. So when these people debate, they don't tend to engage in the Socratic method. They tend to just have a script they go through. Somebody asked what I think of Peterson. You don't want to know what I think of Peterson. There might be children present, so I can't say this. I don't know if I assume Jimmy's coming back. Should I take a call? Should I do I take a call without Jimmy on Jimmy's channel? That's so fun. Hey, while you're here, go follow me at Jovan Bradley. I see mods have been posting in the chat. Go follow me while you're here. I debate every day, typically, sometimes. Typically in the morning. So if you want like more morning calls, come follow me. We debate a bunch of stuff over on my channel. So come do that. Did Jimmy just send me a new link to vMix?
Do not.
Now how? Oh, okay. We heard the voice of God. Oh, well, what are we doing now? Javon worth the sub. Thank you. Take the call. It's my show now. I'm starting to think this is the Jovan Jimmy Power Hour, like that sick crossover on Nickelodeon between Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron. The absolute goated, probably the best cartoon crossover, right? Except for that one that was done, the one where it was like the Ninja Turtles met up with like the Tiny Toons and they were trying to tell people not to do drugs. I don't know if anybody remembers any of that. If I hit talk on one of these, Jimmy, will it answer a call for? Oh, I don't know if Jimmy can hear me. Whatever chat, if chat wants me to, I'll press the button right now. Swear to God. Say the word chat. I'll press the button right now. I don't care what the button ends up doing. Say the word. Oh. Hello? Well, now I hear myself.
You're echoing back to yourself?
Yeah.
How about now?
Testing. Yes.
Okay, well, I don't want that, so I will fix that. Give me just
Chat said the word though, so I have to do what they asked.
Well, it might interfere with doing what I need is the only thing.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I'll keep vamping.
Are you echoing back still?
Nope.
Okay, but am I coming through twice or anything weird?
Nope.
And
you sound normal.
Let me see if I can keep a goddamn audio level.
Oh, now you're loud.
Okay, hang on. Oh, that's too loud.
Oh, now you're really loud. Yeah, that's really loud.
That's too much. We asked to be edged. That's way too much.
He's not a Duma.
That's too much. Okay, so in theory, I think we're good. And I hate this workaround, but I think it'll work.
Now tell us in detail what the workaround was. Like as specific. Like explain it to me like I'm a master's degree in engineering.
I'm using 2 computers now, and I'm coming in with the same call system that Jovan has joined us with, and instead of being raw captured. And so I hate it.
That's a good workaround.
Yeah, creates visual delays and stuff. But the important thing was that we get the show going. Did we invite people to call in?
Discuss their favorite movie? Yes.
Okay. Hey, Bob. Bob, if you would please call back. We see we lost a call from Bob. Bob, I'd love to talk to you. Jimmy could go a little lower. How fucking dare you all?
I think Bob is the person that might have been a child.
Oh, was there a child on the line?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, Bob.
Alexander looks interesting.
We'll find out where the screener is currently getting the exact details, because that might be a chilly tease just to try and get on air. I have no interest in talking about movies people like, to tell you the truth. I've not even seen Event Horizon.
You heard it here first, chat. Jimmy doesn't care about you.
That is a very good rule of thumb when it comes to lots of reasons why people would call in. Assume I don't care about it. All right. Okay. It looks like we do have a live one. So let me do something real quick. Because now we've got all these things in the way. I'm just going to go boop. And I imagine that this is going to be a wonderful call. Why does this look like crap? Oh no, this diverted back to the old way. Oh God, I'm just so mad at technology today. Okay, that's easy to fix. Okay, probably broke all my shortcuts too. And sorry, people, there have been some stuff today, but we're good to go. We can go ahead and pick up Alexander. Do you want to go ahead and click talk on that call? Well, yeah, here's hoping the call system's now connected now that everything was so strange. Alexander in New York, you're on the line with Jovan and Jimmy. First of all, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you all right.
Cool.
I didn't hear him, but that was my fault. Go ahead and would you say that again, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, good. Yep. Jovan, you hear Alexander?
I sure do.
That's all we ever wanted.
Fair,
all right,
fair enough.
Alexander, what are you calling in with for us?
I wanted to talk about how do I put it? I want to actually, funnily enough, I know this is kind of a rarity, but I'm calling from a national socialist, white nationalist perspective, and I want to hear your criticisms, as I have a few criticisms of our own movement, which, might seem to undermine my own group, my own kind of movement, but, I'd like a more open-ended conversation and, my own potential criticisms towards your point of view. I'm new to your stream, so I'm not exactly sure of everything you believe, but I figured it'd be an interesting conversation.
Did you include Christian nationalism in there or just white nationalism?
I am a cosmotheist as far as spirituality. I'm basically a pantheist. I kind of follow similar school of thought of Ramanuja's Vishtadvaita Vedanta or qualified non-dualism. Kind of follow a lot of William Luther Pierce's work in terms of cosmotheism, basically racial, biological pantheism. So no Christianity in the mix, or really paganism.
And nor would the political system you're advocating for it too wouldn't be Christian. It would just be white nationalist socialist.
It's just I don't know why we're calling it white national socialist aid. Can we just call it what it is? Just Nazism.
Nazism minus the Christianity, right?
I mean, Nazi is kind of Swahili for coconut. I mean, whenever
let's not place the semantic game. Nazi is now no longer Swahili for let's go, well, Simba just means lion, right? Like, no, let's just let's be upfront here. If you're going to sit here and be like, I'm pro white national socialism, I'm pro white nationalism, I'm pro Nazi, then own it and be pro Nazi.
Well, here's the thing. The neo-Nazi movement in the United States has become its own kind of garbage thing or whatever, and there's kind of a meme that shows like a dumpster toilet head Nazi, and then what a national socialist self-identified would be. I oftentimes can't really talk to self-identified Nazis about economic policies or anything, because oftentimes it's them following the kind of legacy of Hitlerism. They follow kind of a personality of it, and it just they have no economic stances. A lot of them could be pro-capitalism or pro-socialism or monarchy or even anarchist, and it gets really dumb over time. And it's like whenever I try to talk about corporatism or anti-materialism, flies right over their head. And if we're going to shorten the terms, I'd rather just be called a fascist at that point.
Oh, don't worry. I think we might prefer to call you a fascist too, because
what's
the concept
difference?
of adding nationalism, and especially white nationalism, to socialism already. I mean, you wouldn't say that your socialism has any sort of Marx or even Engels basis, because you couldn't include nationalism or white nationalism in either. The racial exclusion is fundamentally incompatible with socialism.
So you know what? If you don't feel comfortable referring to me as a socialist, we can use the term corporatist, as that's more accurate.
Well, it's not that we don't feel comfortable referring to you as a socialist. You're not a socialist.
Right. We're talking about words have meanings, as you said earlier, and trying to play bypass what an obvious definition of something is.
So when you're here's the thing: when you're against capitalism and you promote nationalization of the banking, free health care, amongst other things like that,
but you don't promote either of those things.
But also,
you don't promote nationalization.
That's not socialism.
The current nation
socialism
is
not
mixed
just when you
race.
Nationalize something.
That's right. And it's kind of the same thing as what you're saying. Like, the current system as it exists, like, you're not asking to nationalize America. You're asking to create a new version of America that excludes people and nationalize the services for them. But obviously missing.
Yes, exactly.
Sure, obviously.
So not socialism. So you're just using the moniker. Well, you're doing what Hitler did. You're using the moniker to get people on your side, so you can convince them that like your ideas are better by labeling it something that is an economic system that is like slightly more virtuous. When what you really want is to exclude a large number of people from this system. It's not socialism. It's racism.
I'd like people to have their own system. I believe that black people, instead of being forced to live with other groups that will never share their interest, even if we try to artificially, culturally make everyone the same. I think black people have their own history, their own poetry,
what are the
their
interests
own culture,
of black
their
people?
Own art.
Wait, what are the interests of black people, and how do they differ from white people? Like, what would be the shared interest that we do not possess?
So that would ultimately come down to you. Can you tell me that?
No, it wouldn't come down to me. You made the claim that there's a shared interest that we do not share. I'm not making the claim that there's a shared. You did. So don't try to now backfoot it.
We're creating new societies here. You're going with a basis where you'd have to transform, move, start basically committing types of genocide to get there in the first place. Because this is a homeland for many people who are not white. So hang on.
You guys don't have to be genocided. You can live in the South. I mean, if we get the North, if we get the cold or whatever, you guys can have Louisiana, Florida, Texas. I don't.
I'm sorry.
Care.
This is that. I don't care about any of that. Can you just tell me what the shared interest is that we do not have in common? Like, what is the shared interest of black people that differs from white people? I think he would move any white person that fraternizes with black people. He would move them as well.
And I'd be fraternizing.
Fair.
So what's the
enough.
shared interest that we don't possess?
Well, I mean, every group of people biologically has their own character, their own way to express. And sure, you can learn another group of people.
There's no biological there's no biological trait that I express because I'm black that's like part of like character. That's not a thing. There's no gene
there's epigenetics. There's the way we evolve.
Epigenetics has disproved this. Epigenetics has disproved a linking in race to behavior like time and time again. So unless you specifically have found the key, this like linchpin gene that only black people possess that causes them to behave in a different way, I'd love to know what it is. But before that, I want to know what
different ethnicities, different groups.
Not according to. There's no group behavior. Even if you want to say there is cultural things that happen, even on a local level, the difference between black people in Egypt and black people in Kenya are just as different as the different races in America. It has nothing to do with that. There's a racial way people do behave.
So as far as America goes, right?
Sure.
Would you consider America a nation of immigrants?
Obviously. And ideally.
There's a problem with that though, because immigration is the last of like 5 or 6 steps. You first have discovery, then you have conquering, then you have settling, then you have building, then you have immigration. Immigration suggests that there was already like that. How do I put it? When you immigrate to a country,
you're already wrong. You're already wrong, my guy. When the 13 colonies were formed, people who came over to the 13 colonies from England were considered immigrants. People who were not born originally in the 13 colonies were considered immigrants.
But they were the same group of people that established the colony.
Doesn't matter. Immigrant doesn't mean you're from a different
they brought
group.
with them who they owned.
Because a people
built the country.
Is a nation. A people is a nation. The nation is the people, regardless of where they are or what moniker they wear.
Then why are you excluding the people who built the country when those colonializers came over? Why are you excluding the people who were there before? And for America,
are you referring to the Native Americans?
No. In the first situation, I'm referring to the slaves as well as all of the people who were excluded otherwise from voting, owning property. So we've got slaves, we've got women. Basically, if you weren't a white man who owned land, according to the early country, you in fact weren't a person. I see that you have a script that you're hoping you can pull down. You could have just listened to everything I said instead of trying to jump ahead. Anybody who is owned by another person.
Oh yeah, no, I think slavery is repugnant. I don't think slavery could ever exist in a truly fascist society. Well, yeah, so
slavery has to exist in order for capitalism to exist. Just FYI. But before that,
have you ever read?
Hold on. Before any of this, before we get through any of this, before we get to any of this, I need the interest that white people have that differs from that black people do not possess. So what is the interest of the white person that is an interest separate of the interest of black people?
So if you look at before miscegenation, before multiculturalism, things like that, if you look at 2 different groups of people from different parts of the world and you put them in the same kind of circumstances where they have food accessible, good weather and good circumstances, the way they express art, culture, poetry, the way they develop their values, their mythologies, the essence of who they are that it's always different, it's always beautiful, and it's always wonderful. And
okay, so you just said a lot of stuff to answer no, to not answer. You're saying, here's all these things that it could be, but you're not telling me what it is. Tell me what it, give me the actual thing. Don't just say, look at all these things that you have when people mix, and it could be this, and it could, name me the thing. What is the actual interest that white people have that would differ from other groups, such as Black Americans? So what is the interest of white Americans that is not a shared interest with Black Americans?
Different conscientious desires of instinctual expression.
Give one.
What is the desire? This is the vagueness has to stop.
Right.
Because you're not saying anything because you don't have an answer.
You're trying to Jordan Peterson. Well, no, I think he knows his answer will sound stupid and foolish. He's going to say something like, shoes, classic car, like it's going to be something stupid like that. Because at the end of the day, he's trying to suggest that on a basis of race, there are automatic cultural differences, completely ignoring the fact that the cultural crossovers have happened long before multiculturalism became more, and you would see independent nations have similar types of development. I swear you can talk when I'm fucking finished. That it's not automatic. Geographic difference accounts much more for a cultural difference than racial difference does. I know you're exhausted talking to us who are consistent, and we're exhausted talking to a fucking Nazi.
I heard that look at Haiti, but Haiti's been under occupation since like 1915. So Haiti's been under occupation for like 100 years. So what the fuck you mean look at Haiti?
I'm just saying the way Haitian culture developed after the slave revolts or whatever. Like if people say, yeah, they have a lot of French culture, yeah, but they've made a life out of their own folk religion, out of their Haiti. The people of Haiti are a beautiful people,
and nothing of that. None on the basis of race.
Quick. I just want to be real. Nail into this, because I think letting you skate off of this point is irresponsible on our part. Nothing you've named, not a single thing you have named, is an interest that one group would have over another group. If you're saying, well, the interest is preserving culture, you don't need to be hegemonic to do that.
The interest is preserving diversity and beauty.
That doesn't preserve diversity. What are you talking about? Preserving diversity would be easier to preserve diversity if we separate people? That's the claim you're making?
Yes.
He wants the planet to be diverse, but not the countries. I think is what he's getting at. Exactly, as I'm trying to dumb down your thing, and your reasoning, your justification for that has already failed, because you've basically at best tried to describe that Haiti is in fact not a country under occupation, but that Haiti would be the name of a race, when again, Haitian culture will also look different from other nations in Africa. So it has nothing to do with that the Haitians are black and the Kenyans are black. Therefore, they're both going to what?
Well,
here's an even better question.
And Africans and okay.
Substantiate that mixing cultures will lead to cultures disappearing.
No. It creates new cultures.
Okay, why is that bad?
Well, how do I put this? And I obviously don't expect you to agree with me, but well, when new cultures are created, yes, you have new cultures, you have new peoples, new languages, sure. And to those people in that generation, that is substantial to them and maybe satisfactory to them. However, what about all of the other beautiful cultures that exist before, all of their values that are essentially created?
Which cultures are gone? Which cultures are gone? Which cultures? Wait, name which culture in the world? Which culture is wholly relied on being separate?
Let's talk about every different culture of different ethnicities of different races.
Why are you not answering the questions being asked to you?
You're sitting here. The question.
No, you're not. You're trying to go a direction that you're more comfortable when everything you're saying is ridiculous. Even if you're saying what about the cultures that someone has an interest in preserving? No one is going to force you to kiss a black woman. Okay. No one's going to force you to marry anyone. As far as preserving any cultural on the basis of racial separation, your insistence that we mandate it and separates the countries undermines those individuals whose desire is to mix cultures. And so in your world, mixing cultures wouldn't be an option. I'm not finished. In your world, mixing cultures would not be an option. In my world, mixing cultures is an option, and you still have the right to go and preserve your culture in any way you want. It's like the fucking dumb argument people tried to make in the past that like, oh, I don't want gay marriage because that infringes on my freedom of religion to live in a country. My religious belief is living in a country that doesn't have gay marriage. That's not how any of these rules work.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm not actually against gay marriage, funnily enough, because
it was a metaphor of a parallel example.
It's not a good metaphor because there's gay civil union, but there's no such thing as
generally
gay marriage.
It's not a good metaphor when the person is too dull to grasp it. So you're right. That's on me. I should have seen that coming.
Well, no, it's also an obfuscation. Stop. Obfuscation. I don't care about any of that. What is the interest that specifically white groups have in staying separate from groups of people of color?
I already answered that question.
You didn't actually. You said, well, culture.
I did.
However, the culture doesn't have to disappear because the groups are mixing. So that doesn't say why there would be an interest, because you wouldn't need the group. You wouldn't need the separation. Nope. Stop. You wouldn't need the separation to maintain the culture. So there's no risk. So those interests are still aligned. So what is the interest that's at risk when these two groups mix?
Okay, you're good. Only change the title text on those. I've got to fix the way these banners work, but only the title text on the collars.
So
did I just say that in the mic?
I wanted to say because obviously you're not open to having an open-ended conversation. I wish you and your families well.
The ad hom is stupid. The ad hom is stupid. Shut the fuck up. The ad hom is stupid. Shut the fuck up.
Have a
Shut
good
up.
day,
The ad hom is so dumb.
Better.
You're running from the conversation because there's no way for you to substantiate your racism. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not going to placate your bullshit. I'm not going to deal with your crying. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Alexander's just sitting here like, I have the way. This is the right way to do it. And by the way, as I'm sitting here saying that, fundamentally, I think whites are better at certain things. Certainly having an honest and intellectual conversation, Alex will not have been the person who demonstrated that the whites are better at having honest and intellectual conversations. It's wild. And the dumb thing about it is they're advocating for a fake. It's not a problem. You still can go culturally isolate yourself as much as you want, even with groups of people. In a society, and this is where the metaphor to religion was, in the society we're advocating for, you still have freedom of choice. And I would not have the government interfere with a person's ability to be just a ginormous douchebag, right? You have a lot of freedom to do whatever you want, whether it comes to religion, your cultural beliefs, or whatever, but you can't infringe on other people. So you want the world that mandates how people do their shit. And I want the world that protects everybody and doesn't mandate whether or not you are a bigot or not. You still get to be a bigot in mine. Freedom of religion is the exact same way. Separation of church and state benefits religious people just as much as it benefits non-religious people. And in fact, arguably more. If you are a religious person, you should want to live in a place with separation of church and state, because you only maintain the benefit of a theocratic state if yours is the theocratic state's religion. And as soon as it changes, you lose.
The actual issue here is he was basically in support of white replacement theory. He just didn't want to say it because he knows that there's stigma behind white replacement theory. That's all he was trying to say. And I wanted to get him to actually admit it. And he was almost there when he goes, well, culture is disappearing. The reason he thinks the culture disappearing is bad is because he thinks white people are going to disappear. So it's white replacement theory, and it has no backing. Sure. And the second he tried to use like race realism or scientific racism, I was like, you're just an idiot. Like, please, yes. You're a Nazi.
It always is built on such dishonesty, and just listening to the self-righteousness at the end is just, you never answered a question directly. You tried to Jordan Peterson at certain points, and instead of just saying the same word, you tried to add occasions to the end of words to see if that would get you there. Oh, well, it's about the cultural occasion of the shoeification of, because black occasions, like occasions, shoe occasions. It usually comes down to that. It's some dumb thing that they're like, well, we should separate the races because black people like shoes. Do you like shoes?
Anyway, we should mix races because I don't want to give them my Jordans.
That's right. I only wear the same type of Skechers. I have like 9 pairs of the same because I can't.
That's so autism of you.
I can't do different foot feels. I know what it is. You ready for the next?
I want to take Max first. Max says they'll cook y'all on anything Trump related. So I would love to bring up Max. Hey, Max.
You're on the line with Jimmy and Jovan, and we are oh man, I fucked up the standard intro.
I did not expect the Nazi thing. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect the whole Nazi thing. I was kind of stunned on that.
Max,
but it was worth the joke.
Max. We're off to a terrible start that you're already talking over me. So anyway, we're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about pro-Trump. I even want to talk about the fact that you're apparently a non-binary person who, and therefore would be aware on what he has now put into codes and laws about your ability to identify with the pronouns you've asked for. And you're here to say you're going to cook us. Maybe you will, but we're going to agree from the beginning that if you're asked a question, you're going to answer it directly and not try to obfuscate, not try to straw man, and you're definitely not going to try to whataboutism, because every pro-Trump person I've had who's ever thought they could cook me, it always comes down to whataboutism. Now, as a non-binary person, I assume you're not going to end every rebuttal with, so what is a woman? But we'll find out. All right, Max, now you may introduce yourself.
Hey, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I know it makes bad radio if we're talking over each other.
That's true.
I don't want to do that at all. I just thought the whole, that was an interesting combo you just had with the last caller. I was kind of stunned on that. Overall, I thought the prompt was basically like, if you support Donald Trump, give us a call. And so I'd say I support him right now.
Okay.
And I thought I'd just call in, basically.
Still you do?
Yeah. Today, as of today, yeah.
Even after all the pedophile protection?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. The Epstein thing is getting me kind of fired up. So I'm with you there. I'm willing to see how it plays out. But if that shit
separate of the,
sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. I didn't mean. I don't know if that's bad. I didn't mean to cuss.
I don't care.
Okay.
Max, separate of the Epstein stuff. How do you feel about him bringing a registered sex offender to the White House to work on a program for children?
So basically, I feel like in a way the question you're asking me is like, I'll take it to even more extreme level. Like, if the president is a pedophile, but I thought he was going to be a really good president, but I still support him. Is that fair to say?
Well,
if you're asking me that question, I would say, yeah, I don't really care. Like I just personally, me as just a regular dude, all the presidents have some kind of, some of our presidents own slaves and shit. So
yeah. And that was super wrong of them. Yeah, and if they were around today and they owned slaves, I would not vote for them.
Well, I don't know if you can say that if you were alive in that time.
I absolutely wouldn't vote for them.
You don't know that.
When in our history was pedophilia culturally acceptable?
I guess like back in the old days, whenever they married like 12-year-olds and stuff.
No. Oh, by the way, he never married any of them. So if you want to talk about a religious exemption, in our society, culturally, it has never been okay to be a pedophile. People like to point to times of the 1800s, usually if they're defending Joseph Smith, and say it was normal for people to get with 14-year-olds at that time. Turns out that's also made up.
I just don't care.
Yes, there are some states.
I don't care.
Sure. So you don't care. Basically, you have this anti-humanist position of a person who has that much power. So not only are they going to be able to get away with their crimes before, but potentially prop up the institutions in such a way that continues to protect themselves and other predators. You don't believe that it is actually the president's job and duty to protect its civilians, especially its innocent civilians, and it doesn't bother you whether or not pedophiles are now more empowered. Max has dropped. I was going to ask if this is correct. It sounds like Max is saying he doesn't mind a president who protects pedophiles, knowing that that will lead to a society where pedophiles are more empowered than they were before the president took office. Because that's where I was going and was going to ask for a confirmation of it, because that's what you get out of a pedophile protecting president. More pedophiles who are able to do more damage and have a sort of way out and around the system to continue to do it. Now, his notes said any Trump, any topic, he will, what was the word?
I don't see the note there anymore.
Yeah, it's gone. Was it smoke us?
It was something like that.
You feeling smoked?
Like, I'll smoke y'all.
Yeah.
I just don't get how we can go, if he was a pedophile, would I vote for him? Yes. What?
If he was going to continue to protect pedophiles and make the country friendlier to pedophiles, would you vote for him? And it sounds like he's saying he's done nothing yet to lose your vote. And I don't know. For me, if I saw a person talking about how they're considering pardoning a pedophile, that'd be a hard line for me.
I will say for like callers, I think we are prioritizing people that are like directly calling into debate.
Yes, always.
As opposed to so it looks like we got a little bit of a capitalist in the queue.
It was a cook. We were going to get cooked.
Oh, it was Cook. He was going to cook us.
Yeah, I got cooked. On that one. People, it happened for sure.
Jimmy, don't you know that like voting for a pedophile means we were cooked? Mm-hmm. Right? If the opponent would have voted for a pedophile, that means sorry, we got cooked. Oh, Max is back. Y'all hung up on me and now you're lying about me live on the air. That's bullshit.
No, we'll pick you right back up. Oh, yeah.
I'm just hitting the button. I'm just hitting the button. Yeah, Max, we didn't drop you. So
maybe
you got like
about you. You got a connection issue. You can't put that on us.
All right, I'll fair. You took me back, so I did think you hung up on me, but you took me back, so I'll believe you. It was my phone, my shitty service.
Would you vote for a president that makes the country a better country for pedophiles to exist in?
No, I think you misunderstood me there. I said if presidents do lots of bad things, right? But very little of it impacts my life. If he was going to, if a president was actually, if I had a crystal ball and I could see that he would make my life better and my family's life better, but he was a bad guy and a pedophile, I wouldn't care because it would make my life better.
What if you saw it was going to make your life better, but thousands of children, little girls, would be sexually abused?
I don't care.
So basically what you're calling hang on, Max. So what your position is that the best reason to vote for somebody is the personal benefit to you. Hang on. I'm going to let you verify that to you, the best reason to pick a candidate or how you've picked a candidate is which candidate will maximally benefit me individually, no matter what the cost is to anybody else. Is that accurate? And if it is not, how have I gone wrong summarizing your position?
So you're saying I pick a president based on if he makes my life better, me?
I think you said that. I was trying to restate. Is your position that no matter the cost to others, if it benefits you more, that is adequate justification in who you would vote for president?
It'd probably be on some kind of sliding scale, and I would say that would be the overwhelming, the number one factor. Maybe let's say 70%. I'm worried about.
So
can I just get a clarification of something really quickly, Jimmy?
I just want to know where the pedophilia is on that sliding scale. I guess nowhere.
I mean, he's already said he doesn't care if 1,000 little girls get pedophiled. He would still vote for Trump.
It always it happens every day. It's happening right now as we're sitting here talking.
Right, but how often are you taking an action to empower it?
What do you want me to do about it?
Not empower it. Speak out against it. Not vote for the guy who makes the country a friendlier place for pedophiles. Because I think what you're doing is calling in to say the sociopathic choice is the best one. Get rid of your empathy and do not try to head toward a society that is maximally best for anybody, where if you are re-entering that society not knowing who you are going to be, it's how you would design that society in advance. Don't do that. I, Max, exist right now in all of my whatever you are, however you identify, whatever your race is. I'm liking how this is going for me specifically. Stick to that and fuck everybody else.
Not me specifically, but I'm thinking when I say that, I mean like America, like our country.
Does it make our country better does it make our country better to have sexual offenders working on programs for children?
In the hypothetical, I said under the condition that he was a really good president and made our lives better. He's not even talking
about the president right now.
Wait, you think you believe Donald Trump is a good president? Yes.
He's done a lot of some things that are good. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think out of the choices we had, he was yes.
Give me a list 3 very quick reasons why you support Donald Trump that are not he wasn't the other guy.
I'd say number 1, he's a political monkey wrench into the system. That for too long, both parties have not done what they're going to say. And now they have to deal with this instead of the regular norm. 2, I would say, I think that I'm pro. I don't know I'm not pro-choice, but I'm pro-abortion. And I think Trump has, there's some extreme elements in the conservative party that, don't want IVF, or, if you get raped, you can't have an abortion. I don't agree with any of that. Donald Trump has moved the conservative party further to the middle on that issue than any Republican president has.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to just interrupt you because this is the weird. You're pro-abortion, but you support the president that got Roe v. Wade overturned.
I don't think voting on it is bad. I think that's democracy.
We don't vote on it. For instance,
when
Texas
did we vote on it?
Has a complete.
We do vote on it.
Texas has no, we don't. Texas has a complete and utter abortion ban. Hold on, Max. Texas has a complete and total abortion ban, and it has not been put on the ballot. Greg Abbott has refused to allow it on the ballot for Texans to vote on. Is that voting on it, or is that forcing an entire state of people, a state that is bigger than most countries, to fall in line with conservative ideology?
So I don't know each individual state, but I know my state. And I know some other states, like a lot of conservative states.
So you're not
pro-abortion. You're just pro-abortion for your state. You don't care about the other states.
I think I want your state to vote on it. I hope your state. I don't know what ballot initiative you need to take to force a vote.
What state do you live in?
But I'm sure Missouri.
Oh, but you're talking about you want our states to vote on it. Meanwhile, it was repealed. And then how many states had laws set to go into effect? But also, you're sitting here, you can see the shit that's going on right now, and you know that states are gerrymandered and that Republicans gerrymander far more severely than Democrats do. So voting, it's not as though things then happen according to a popular vote, and not everybody gets access to the ability to vote. But we're talking about a thing that is arguably a civil right. So you would I guess, should slavery come back if most people voted for it?
That's kind of a ridiculous question.
No, it isn't. So, okay, then just answer it.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. This is, I gotta, wait, no, I gotta call you out on something. So Missouri in 2024 voted on Amendment 3. Then your Republican lawmakers approved a bill to repeal Amendment 3 going against the vote. I thought you were for voting.
Missouri,
we
by the way,
voted on it and it passed. It's the Constitution getting amended.
And Republican lawmakers are pulling it away. In fact, In fact, the Supreme Court in Missouri in May, on May 30th, yes, on May 30th, the Supreme Court of Missouri reinstated abortion restrictions, going against the vote of the people of Missouri.
Not to mention, when you're sitting there saying we have a vote on it and that's what I like to do, Missouri was one of the 13 states that had a trigger law. So when Roe v. Wade went into effect or was repealed, automatically laws that had been passed long before went into effect, meaning nobody had voted on it. And even if anybody had voted on it in the past, it would have been a long time past, so it would not reflect the current population. But most of these trigger laws were actually Congress-based. Your local Congress passed them, had nothing to do with a vote. So even on this issue, I'm excited for number 3, because number 1, your first one, he's a political wrench in the system, is a ridiculous answer. It's like, it's first of all, he said he was going to drain the swamp. It is now swampier than it has ever been. He's literally making billions of dollars on a pay-to-play scheme where people can pump into his meme coin. He's become richer than ever as being the president. He's violating the Emoluments Clause. But you don't care about any of that, because you think you've personally benefited when we've already debunked your second point. And the political wrench, that has nothing to do with whether or not his policies are good or not. It just means he's an annoyance because we have put an actual moron, pedophile protecting asswipe in the White House. And it's like, oh, we're all going to enjoy the chaos of every day. What the fuck is this idiot going to do? We have put a bowl in the china shop and we've roided it up and given it Monster Energy drinks. So what's your point 3 that would actually be a relevant, here is a good thing he has done that has made my life actually better, when already he is the reason why the country at large has cut off abortion access? He is directly responsible, but you think because he has pulled some, at least what they will do at a congressional level, them closer to the middle, but not the middle, when the middle is also a bad position on abortion, you think that that's somehow a benefit when it's a net negative for you. So what is your third point of something he has done that is good, that has benefited you and is worth all of the horrible things about Trump because you get what out of him?
So just to be clear, you did not debunk me on the second point at all whatsoever. And
your second point is debunk. If your point is that he has moved them closer to the middle, when you are pro-abortion, if you're pro-abortion, abortion rights got reduced to almost nothing. And now, so if you want to say the old state we'll give it level 50, he took it back to level 3. And now they've been able to swing all the way back to like level 8 when we had 50 before. And the reduction of 42 levels of abortion access are because Trump was president. That's the debunk if you're anchoring it on abortion rights being in a better place now than they were before. It is obviously worse. And we pointed out that your popular vote concept didn't apply in Missouri or the nation at large. And in fact, most of the country supported Roe v. Wade. If what you thought was true, we would still be under Roe v. Wade. It doesn't happen. So now what is your third point of a good thing he has done that benefits you and is worth all of the rest of the negatives you've already agreed on, like the pedophile protection, like the violation of the Emoluments Clause, like that you agreed that it is swampier than ever? What is the positive thing he did that benefited you that makes all this worth it?
So I'd love to explain, but you give me about 2 to 3 sentences and then you go on a filibuster rant. And I don't want to interrupt you. What is the third
thing? I'm bored of the abortion point. It was dumb, and you haven't actually listed a thing that benefits you. You can't say you have more abortion benefits before Trump than you have after. It's demonstrably wrong. Unless you can demonstrate that, let's move to your third point. The first point wasn't a point. Even if you still stick with it. I agree that let's go with the first point. It's not a positive, but I'll agree with your point that he is a wrench in the system, but he's in the wrench of a computer. Right? You're not supposed to just have computers in wrenches in a computer. It can cause metal contact shorts.
I get 2 sentences and you filibuster.
You haven't answered. As soon as you fucking answer, I will let you actually do it. Number 3, the only thing I need to hear from you is not a complaint about what you're saying. What is your third fucking point that is actually a point of a positive thing that you have benefited from the Trump presidency that is worth all the negatives?
if I get you to agree with me on point 3, can we readdress point 2? And will
only
you give me
thing-
more than 2 sentences?
The only thing I want to hear
if you
from you
say I
right now
agree,
is
that
your
was
third
good.
point. I only want to hear your
really
third
quickly.
point.
I think I can bridge. I think I can bridge the gap here really quickly. I can bridge the gap. The second point, well, for Max, the second point, Max, is that you wanted abortion to go back to the states, and you wanted people to be able to vote for it. In your state, Republican lawmakers ignored the vote. So therefore, supporting Trump because he got Roe v. Wade overturned, because it would help the voters decide, didn't help the voters decide, because the Republican lawmakers are ignoring the vote. So your second point is moot. What is your third point?
You want me? Can I rebuttal? And explain why it's not mute?
You can go with
but
the
it's not
third
mute.
point
You're
because
just
it doesn't
saying
care.
it is.
It doesn't matter.
I know it's not mute. The word is moot. I know it's
okay,
not a mute.
Max, I'll do this for you. I'll do this
3
for
to
you.
5 sentences.
Stop.
I have
Hang on
3
a
to
second,
5
Max.
sentences
Max,
and tell me I'm wrong.
Hang on. Max prefers this world where it has gone back to the states and thinks that democracy will account for it, and overall that will be better, and therefore to him it is better. Great. And therefore, y'all, that's framed well enough that it's fine, that's what he thinks, and he thinks it's better. Whether it's better or not is a different debate we could actually have, and we kind of already have.
So you're
and
telling
the positions
me what
are
I
there.
think.
So now, no, I summarized what you fucking said. Max, we have other callers. Are you going to give us the third point, or are we going to move on? Because you really, really suck at this, and you are trying so hard to make this ad hominem.
All right, I'll give you point
shit.
3, and
Great.
you'll agree with me. You'll agree.
Go ahead.
We're all going to agree here. I think Operation Warp Speed was a really good thing. It showed American ingenuity that brought some of the best pharmaceutical companies in the world together, and we all kind of cooked up these little vaccines, and I think overall they did more good than they did harm. And I don't necessarily agree with like forcing people to take them or anything like that, but yeah, I think it was a really good program when the world was like kind of scared and troubled, and Trump spearheaded that.
So just so you know, your third answer still doesn't qualify, because we talked about a third good reason that makes voting in Donald Trump worth it. No candidate who was a viable option when COVID was happening, so whether it was Hillary Clinton, whether it was Joe Biden after the fact, no matter who would have sat in that office, Operation Warp Speed or something like it would have been approved. So we have asked you for the criteria of something exclusive to Trump that makes him worth it. The fact that he gets in and up every day and poops in a toilet instead of just on the floor, which I don't even know for a fact is true, is not, yes, we all agree that we prefer a president who does that. That doesn't make him a good president, because all of the presidents would be pooping in the toilet, I hope. So what is an exclusive? Your third point needs to be an exclusive to Trump reason that would not apply to anybody else who sat in there, that makes it worth having him, because on that basis, you could have voted for anybody.
He's the leader of the party. He's the one organizing these things. So basically, I found something good that he did, and you just want to disagree with it because you said, "Oh, anybody would do that." No, they won't.
Max,
that's not how they work.
Would Hillary Clinton have approved Operation Warp Speed or something similar but with a different name?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so voting for Trump or Hillary Clinton would have resulted in the same program, correct?
No.
How no? Oh, actually, I agree with you. I agree with you. We would have had more science funding and started much earlier if Hillary had been in, because she doesn't represent an anti-scientific coalition.
Okay,
so I kind of agree with you.
So
Hillary
you want something
exclusive
to Trump. Okay, I got you. We will
exactly.
stay on the COVID subject, right?
Obviously.
Trump was in the room with all these doctors, Fauci, like the world at his hands, basically. And all of them were telling him, you in the very early stages of this, don't shut down the airplanes. You don't need to worry about flights from China. Don't worry about it. And Trump, by himself, against all of his advisors, said, shut it down. And in retrospect, that was a good thing that they did that, because it stopped the spread earlier.
So you're saying that Donald Trump, because I'm going to fact check this live, Donald Trump shut down the government and planes against the advice
He
of
stopped
his
with
top-
Fauci was an advocate for shutting down airports. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Nope, wrong. You're wrong.
Yes, he was.
You're wrong.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
You just don't want to say Trump did something good.
Do you know how I know he was?
Do you know how I
know he was? Do you know how I know he was?
Fauci told us not to wear a mask. He said,
Do you know how
we don't
I
need
know-
a mask.
Do you know how I know that Fauci was in support of shutting down or placing in travel restrictions?
How do you know?
Do you know how I know this? Because on May 31st of 2024, the Committee on Oversight released the COVID Select Subcommittee releases, which were the Dr. Fauci transcripts and highlighted takeaways from the original, like the early COVID memos. And in those memos, they quite literally write from the House Oversight Committee, Dr. Fauci unequivocally agreed with every travel restriction issued by the Trump administration at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Like,
yeah, I'm literally fact checking you live, and I can't even find a source making the claim that you're saying. There are people who were surprised. That's the best I can say.
Convenient.
They were surprised in the health community that
convenient, or maybe you're just wrong.
I'm actually actively looking for whatever dumb things you're misinterpreting, because I don't just sit here and go, I'm going to look for the things that agree with me. So I'm changing phrasing to try and find the things that justify your arguments.
I don't think we need to do
it is very fun. And yet I felt it necessary. It is very funny though that you you wanted to bring up the mask thing when I remember when it happened too. The mask thing was about availability of masks because N95 masks needed to be reserved for surgeons, medical people, first responders, and people who are out there. And if you were staying at home and you were actually, you're right. He should have told us that, but that has nothing to do with whether or not Trump is good or not. He should have
everything to do with it.
He did say it was because he said because there were supply issues with getting masks because we were running out of masks.
Do you know why there were supply issues? That way?
Do you know why there were supply issues with the N95 masks?
You think they should have told us?
Max, why are you interrupting Jovan? Why are you interrupting Jovan?
Yeah, so
not trying to interrupt.
The federal government did not have an adequate supply of masks because after H1N1, they had gone through their stockpile, and then the pandemic preparedness funding was then cut by who? Who cut the pandemic preparedness funding? So we couldn't stockpile masks. So Fauci told us, hey, don't wear a mask. He didn't even say specifically don't wear a mask. He said that masks need to be given in priority. No, he didn't. He said masks need to be given and prioritized to. Yes, he did.
He's on an interview. I want to say it's CNBC.
Max.
It's CNBC interview where Fauci himself, they asked him, do we need to wear masks? And Fauci said, I do not see a future where people in public are wearing masks. We don't need to wear masks.
And then later,
he said when they asked him, why did you say that? He said, because we were short on supplies and we didn't want the community that doesn't necessarily need these as much as the doctors do. Listen, guys, I agree with that, okay? But they need to tell us that. They need to
You're describing it as though Max, you're describing it as though he purposefully lied and then was saying, here's why I lied back then. When in fact, what he was saying is the way I communicated it wasn't adequate enough, but he clearly did bring up the prioritizing for the people who are the first responders. It is absolutely the case that he should have been clearer. But Max, I'm glad we're on this topic because you're again, this COVID thing trying to make Trump and COVID work, which at best could have justified voting for him in 2020, not in 2024. But you do agree that masks are necessary, they are good, and that they do help to prevent COVID, correct?
I would agree that if you want to wear a mask, that's cool. But I think
no. That was not my question. Is it correct?
They are.
Is it correct?
Before we get there, because there's also a key piece missing here, and that's that at the start of COVID, when people were saying, "Hey, don't mask up." Another one of the factors here is they didn't know COVID was had asymptomatic transmission. Sure.
Yes, there is going to be also the developing science and all of that. All of that is fine. Is it the case, because you are right now sitting saying that Fauci was wrong for not telling people strongly enough, or in your words, lying about whether they should mask?
You lied.
Should people have, does COVID prevent the spread? Is COVID's spread prevented by wearing a mask? Yes or no?
Prevented? What do you mean by prevented? Like 100% prevention?
No, obviously not. See, do you see the way you are trying?
I don't know
to
what you
be
mean.
So
no, I'm
fucking
asking you to clarify.
If a society with a COVID outbreak masks up, will there be a significant reduction in infection as a direct result with a causal link from masking?
So if you're asking me, I
Just
haven't
yes
looked
or
at
no.
the data of my...
Okay,
I don't know.
So then you don't even know whether your points you were making before are good. However, the points you were making are dependent upon whether or not it is good. And so the things that you're saying that Fauci did to undermine people wearing masks is a problem. But the fact that Trump stopped wearing a mask during the mandates, even in places that were high risk area, and kept talking about not needing mask mandates during heights of infection, and the fact that we now have data that shows that over 1 million people didn't need to die had people actually followed the regulations, and that the Trump administration definitely did botch it. Oh, and now that we have the data that when the vaccine became available, he basically got the vaccine and they had no distribution plan or ready to go. And that when the Biden administration took over, they were eager to implement his distribution plan and basically found out not word one had been written on how they were going to do it, that actually the handling before, during, and after COVID was botched by Trump in every way. But you want to claim this unsupported thing that I've tried to find your evidence for, that he did against the will of his health advisors, he was making moves that they said not to do, even though the only time that actually happened was when he stopped doing things early, not before the thing started. Your assertion falls apart in about 900 ways.
How many boosters did you get?
I think I have gotten, by the way, I'm immunocompromised. My medical history is none of your business, but I will engage with it anyway. I think I've probably had 4 boosters, whatever a booster a year would be.
There's no.
What autoimmune disease do you got? I got one too.
Excuse me, why would that be any of your fucking business? How long's your penis?
Why
are we asking each other
experience?
Why are we asking each other questions that have level? Yeah, and we're on a public thing for hundreds to thousands of people over the coming days. Yeah, all right, goodbye.
Okay, so what we've learned is Max is not here to have an actual conversation.
You are bad at this, Max. You are actually worse than creationist theists who call in. Enjoy your day. Or don't. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about the movies you like, but literally, like, what autoimmune disease do you have? What fucking business is it of yours?
I just want to point out, just because I like to always make sure information is correct at the end of a nonsense call.
Yeah.
Fauci specifically said, and I'll quote what he said, back when he told people not to wear masks, he said, masks are really for infected people to prevent them from spreading infection to people who are not infected, rather than protecting uninfected people from acquiring infection. We know this. The reason why surgeons wear masks is not to keep out what's coming from the body that they're operating on, but to keep what's from their body going to that. He said, the typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out virus, which is small enough to pass through the material. And then, as we learned about the advent of asymptomatic spread, it became, okay, well, now you should wear masks because you can spread it asymptomatically. And that's now everybody should wear a mask so that if you are asymptomatic and you still have it, you don't spread it, which all of us knew because we paid attention to what was actually being said in the briefings. But it's the people who call in who didn't listen to any of the health briefings who are like, well, he lied. You didn't listen to shit he actually said.
Yeah, honestly, the biggest thing, there are plenty of things to criticize, like how they really probably knew that we more needed N95 masks than cloth masks long before we were given that advice. And that arguably might have been withheld because they needed the N95 mask for professionals. The cloth masks only got you so far. That's why they started talking about double and triple masking. In a lot of cases, you need a full-on N95, especially once the variant started coming out, because the particles, I think, got finer or some shit like that. And then people go around licking each other's masks. I know I do. If I see someone in a mask, I go up and I lick it.
That might be the most unhinged thing you've said all day. I'm very interested in talking to Austin, who said that we're headed into a better place than we were 4 to 5 presidential years. So, Austin, are you there? Are you on with us? I don't know Jimmy's whole spiel. I don't know what it is.
It's how we're all supposed to do it. Austin in Georgia, you are on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. Welcome to Calling It Now. I added that little part at the end. What you got for us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Sure can.
Perfect. Yeah, so I mean, I'm just kind of looking at this as a total scale. If we look at the direction that we're currently heading, which is promoting people to start small businesses, bring manufacturing back to the States, being more fair as far as the world scale goes on what we're taking in compared to what we're giving out. And then at the same time, all of the tariffs, all of the negotiations that are happening with countries that otherwise would have been left on the back burner, the overall structure, capitalism as a whole, and a progression rather than, a socialistic ideology that the left tends to push. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of reasons why.
Well, you're in luck because you're talking to two socialists. Which one do you want to start with? Small businesses are benefiting because we can roll that into tariffs, or do you want to talk about why we should resist socialism?
So, I mean, you can definitely start with small businesses. I'm a small business owner.
I want you to start with small businesses. How are small businesses more encouraged to begin right now than under previous presidents?
Yeah, 100%. So look at all the tax incentives. You got a 100% appreciation on things such as equipment or work trucks and vehicles within the first year. So that means that if you buy a piece of equipment or a heavy-duty truck or whatever that looks like, you can write that off 100% in your first year. So that's just one of them. I mean, then you got all the other.
Which law did that come from?
That was started originally. The 100% rule was started under his first term, and it was continued under the BBB.
Under the big, beautiful bill.
That's right.
Okay. And so you would contend that small tax giveaway to a very minute group is a bigger benefit than what damage tariffs are doing to small businesses, and the fact that right now small businesses across right now across the country have already begun to shut down because of these tariffs, as well as the fact that big companies, billionaire companies that tend to monopolize certain fields are now actually more empowered than ever and have access to more capital to outspend and remove small businesses from an area. You believe that the truck thing, that if you buy a truck, the first year you got to write it off at 100%, that is a bigger benefit than all of those things that detract.
Yeah, so you asked for an example. I gave you an example. That's not all of
Sure, can you answer my question now?
And then, yeah, I just did. You asked for one thing. I gave you one thing.
Okay, so then I'll rephrase it. You believe the benefits.
I'm gonna hold on. Let me finish the point.
No, because you're not answering my question. So I'm rephrasing it so you can handle it, because it was a yes or no question.
5-minute objection.
Austin,
5-minute tirade,
Austin,
right?
I asked you a yes or no question.
Tariff.
Austin, you know I can mute you.
Tariff.
Austin, either let me finish or we're going to have to use the mute thing.
Oh,
you would not answer my yes or no question, so I'm rephrasing it so that you can apparently engage it.
Spend 5 minutes talking again so you can feel good about yourself. Go ahead.
The call has been going for 3 minutes and 54 seconds, so it's impossible that I've spoken for 5 minutes. If your point is so strong, why do you have to rely on hyperbole to make it?
Go ahead, finish.
Do you need me to define hyperbole before you can answer that one?
Go ahead, state your question. You're waiting.
No, you diverted it here. You diverted about whether or not we're getting to talk and stuff. Why do you now want to address this when it's called out that your little ad hominem thing was complete and utter bullshit and didn't work. If I ask you a yes or a no question, answer the yes or a no question.
Example, and then you went into this entire tirade of how tariffs are hurting businesses. I didn't. Getting into the tariff part of the
now you're lying.
And then you cut me off.
You're fully lying because I didn't go into that tirade. You said the thing about I'm only going to give you one example. And I said, let me rephrase then so you can answer the question, because you did that instead of answering a yes or no question. And the rephrase was going to be very easy for you to handle. It was simply going to be,
I said go,
is
bro.
the benefit
like 25 times.
Yes, and then you complained about I went on for 5 minutes. We just hit 5 minutes, by the way, for the first time. We just hit it. 5 minutes. So you were hyperbolic. Great, Austin. So now we're moving the goalpost. Are you ready to actually have the conversation and answer yes or no questions, or are you going to keep complaining?
Question that you've been dying to get to, and you just refuse to ask it.
Sir, I'm waiting for you to answer a yes or no question. Would you like to hear it?
The yes or no question. You hit the yes or no question.
Are you going to do it without whining this time?
2.5 minutes of talking.
Austin, 2.5. You've been. I hope you have a stopwatch because you really fucked up your time estimation last time. You're going to stop whining and answer the question after I ask it?
Or are you just going to keep talking?
Are you ready? Are you ready for the question? That's a yes or no.
Bro,
also.
I'm fucking waiting on the question. Like, ask the question.
So you're ready for it? I'm proving you won't answer yes or no questions with a simple yes or no. And so far, you have now 4 times since the original proven that you won't. Are you ready for the question?
Is yes or no the only affirmative answers that can be given?
Are you ready for the question?
Is I'm waiting on the question, not an affirmative to that?
Are you ready for the question?
Yes.
Thank you. So it is your contention that benefits like the truck deduction bill or the truck deduction benefit and the other benefits outweigh the additional strain on small businesses, like the costs of tariffs, which the businesses pay, and like the tax deductions that have equipped the largest companies with more capital, therefore giving them more resources to outcompete the smaller people. You're saying, it is your assertion, you believe that those benefits, like the one you listed and the others you haven't yet, outweigh the damage done by the tariffs and the billionaires having less regulations and more money.
Yes.
Excellent. Now, would you like to justify that?
Before he does, I just want to point out really quickly, because if that's his assertion, that's great. That's not the government's assertion. The SBI, which is the Government Small Business Index, which talks about how small business owners are feeling and the confidence that small business owners have going into each quarter, and as well as it looks at like whether or not small businesses will last. The SBI went from 69.1 in the fourth quarter of 2024 to 62.3 in the first quarter of 2025. So small businesses overall are hurting according to the SBI. But now you can go ahead and refute that if you'd like to, Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the owner of a couple of small businesses, and I can tell you that in one of them individually, tariffs has played a role, but what we've done is moved manufacturing from overseas to stateside the U.S. Now, that did have an upfront cost, but the end product is not only much better. We have also full control over quality control. We have less logistics, no import taxes or duties to pay, no logistics from transport from the port. We don't have to have TWIC cards and various other things for our drivers. We're able to import 100% American steel and manufacture our product in-house now 100%. So,
and how much has your product, and how much has that increased your product's price to your consumers?
Let me finish.
You got past your point. You're going far too many words than you need to.
I'm going. Okay, so it's okay for you guys to talk and list about random points, but it's not okay for me to actually express.
Yes, it is definitely up to us to keep the show. It is definitely up to us to keep the show and the topic on point. I can't rebut an anecdote because I can't investigate your anecdote, nor can I, but I've already begun the questioning about it. How much has that increased the cost to a consumer of yours who is buying your goods?
11 cents.
What percentage is that?
Fucking marginally nothing.
So you're saying that the entire the cost of the consumer has gone up by less than 1%?
What was the cost of the good? What was the original cost of the good?
It's okay. It doesn't matter. As long as he's saying less than one.
$225, and we rose the price $225.11.
And that's all after, and you're going to be able to sustain. Your profits have not taken a hit, or your profits have also taken a hit by doing all of that?
I mean, we ate the price of the equipment, but
what percentage then has your profits taken a hit?
Our profit margin has actually risen, so our cost landed shipped from, say, China or South Africa. Our price would have been somewhere between $89 and $91, depending on which one and which port and which duty. And then right now, our total cost is between $74 and $76, and that depends on the steel and the gauge.
So this is the anecdote of your individual business. Does your anecdote represent what the common experience of people who are now facing these tariffs, new regulations, and the new market? Are you saying that Trump is benefiting small? Because it seems to be that you're saying Trump benefits small businesses, not just your small business or your couple of small businesses, but at large. So does yours resemble what the experience is right now and the projected experience of a small business right now, that it's especially those competing with larger businesses that cover similar products?
100%, because anybody can do what I did, and you can do that across any scale. You can look at things like HVAC.
No, that's not true. I literally own a small business, and I can tell you with my own anecdote, I cannot move the manufacturing of, for example, our merchandise stateside and save money or only go up by 11 cents. Because the cost is much higher than that.
Well, it only went up by 11 cents because he ate the cost.
Right.
Are you comfortable import cost? Wait. You said your bottom line took a hit, did you not?
My bottom line took a hit. Oh, yes, by the manufacturing equipment. Which was paid
how much of a hit did your bottom line take?
290 something thousand. I don't remember the exact amount. Right at 300 grand.
Wait, how much money does your company? How much money does your? Just give me a ballpark estimate of how many dollars you're moving in your small business each year.
I mean, it varies anywhere between 10 and 24, 25
million.
That's right.
Small businesses are considered 7.5 million or under, so you don't have a small business.
And by the way, 7.5 million is also stretching it. But I think we agree that you are in the class of business.
Small business under 500 employees.
We are okay. So you're doing a physical thing. So if Jeff Bezos,
that's one metric.
If Jeff Bezos gets Amazon or Twitter's down to dozens of employees, you would call Twitter, which is worth billions of dollars in Elon's portfolio, you would call Elon Musk a small business owner.
Elon Musk is not a small business owner. You've got.
But Twitter is under 500 employees. Twitter's under 500. Would you call?
There's probably technical managers and developers that work under multiple businesses that are also tied to Twitter that handle different accounts and things under Twitter.
Sure, so, and the electric company that provides you power for your machinery and all of that stuff. We can pedantically extend out everyone who in any way possibly influences is considered an employee.
But it doesn't even
jizz out whatever definition we want.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. The Small Business Administration doesn't just look at employee count; they look at revenue.
Let me just say though, there's things like, for instance, with the power, there's things that you can do. For instance, we have a 10 kilowatt. It's a kilowatt per hour windmill sitting at the office right now that's being put together, and then we also have right out a 16 kilowatt per hour solar system that produces.
Man, you're gonna be fucked when Trump successfully bans those windmills.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna be fucked because Trump's trying to ban those windmills.
I mean, so you're talking about the industrial ones that reach a certain height limit. This one does not affect the birds and all of the other stuff that.
Oh, you have one of the good windmills. You're good because you've got one of the good windmills that he likes.
It's a smaller windmill. I mean, it's more.
Hey, let me just put it here, Austin.
It's about the average height of.
I'm going to concede something to you. As a person who owns is not a small business, I agree that your company is probably benefiting from Donald Trump. But the difference is your company is probably benefiting at the cost of small businesses.
Absolutely not. Look at all of the small business, for instance, in the construction company that
look at the job numbers that just had to get adjusted to like 10% of their numbers before because the old.
Hold on. You're saying that I'm like strong manning small businesses, or that small businesses.
You're not a small business owner, is what I'm saying.
My small business.
You're not a small business.
Okay, well, I would disagree because I don't have 500 employees, so therefore I would
stop.
That
hold on, because there we are again. It doesn't matter if you don't have small employees. Under the U.S. Small Business Administration, they would not consider you a small business. You would not fall under small business. You make too much revenue. They don't just look at employee count. Revenue is also a factor.
And whenever I talk about big business, I talk about things like pharmaceutical companies that are doing hundreds of millions of dollars a year, or billion-dollar corporations. Now, one day I obviously have the goal to get to that statute, but as of right now, I would still consider myself a small business. I mean, if you guys consider me,
but we're not talking about whether you consider yourself. We're talking about whether or not the SBA or the IRS does.
We're talking about what I believe and what my beliefs are, and then you guys are saying, "Oh, well, somebody else believes
no, we're
this."
not.
Like, that's great. Like, okay, cool,
we're talking about facts of reality. Wait a second. Wait. No, Austin. No. Stop. Austin. Stop. If somebody calls in and says, I, as a flamingo, am benefiting because Donald Trump passed a law that benefits flamingos, and we point out they're a Homo sapien, they go, yeah, but by my definition of flamingo, I'm benefiting because I consider myself a flamingo. It doesn't matter whether or not you consider yourself a flamingo. It matters about whether or not the actual thesis of what you're saying is true. So first, are flamingos actually benefited? And two, are you a flamingo? And my friend Austin, you're not a fucking flamingo.
So pro-trans and then propose that argument.
Transspeciation has nothing to do with being supporting of transgenderism, you fucking idiot. Nobody who identifies as a flamingo is actually a flamingo, you moron.
I mean, I would say they suffer from the same mental illness. But
right, and Austin, you have shown that you're not an expert on small businesses or psychology. What else would you like to show you're not an expert on? Because it's clearly not much.
You haven't been able to.
Why do trans people always got to get caught in the crossfire with you people?
Yeah.
Can you just, Austin? Can you just answer me a really quick question? Right, you do something in construction. That's what your business is.
Yes.
Okay. Construction is literally hurting right now across the board. Costs are up, estimated 8 to 10% throughout the entire field of construction. There is a 15% spike specifically in steel. Hold on. That is quite literally tariffs. It's tariffs have driven up material costs between 8 and 10%.
Or is it that people are not out or still outsourcing their products?
Imagine being such a genius small business owner that you think to yourself, the higher cost is probably not why the costs are higher.
Imagine not being able to follow directions and somebody lining out this for you and saying, hey, I'm fixing to put a bunch of tariffs on importing all of these goods.
Austin, you literally think that small business. No, you shut the fuck up. All right. And now you're muted. Nobody hears you trying to yell us over it. You're trying to be condescending as you're sitting here assuming that anybody else, you don't have a small business by dollar amount. And you're sitting and going, why didn't they simply do what we did? Why can't the person who has a grocery shop at the end that's a little corner shop, why can't that mom and pop just spend the hundreds of thousands of dollars on the manufacturing equipment to bring it stateside and apparently figure out how to employ those people for cheaper as well? Why can't they just do that? But at the end of the day, your argument also starts to fall apart because as small businesses are expanding and they have access to more tools, the first thing they do is hire more people. So we're going to see if you are able to return to actually operating honestly. Are job numbers going up or down since Donald Trump's economic policies went into effect? I'm now unmuting you.
I've hired more people. On top of hiring more people, we're
muting again. We're muting again. Guess what? So have I. I've hired more people because I tend to hire a few people each year. One of them's above me right now on the screen. I hired Jovan to work at the line this very weekend. So, Austin, that is not the question. The question is not...
Oh, shit. Was that an announcement?
Did you... Oh, I thought I already did. Yeah, he works here now. Austin, the question is not, did you hire more people? The question is, are job numbers up or down? Now I'll unmute you again.
Yeah. will look at that daily. I mean, everybody that I know that owns businesses are hiring.
Sure. How about monthly?
Or more.
How about monthly? How about year over year? How about any other besides daily? Because once again, if your point is so strong, you do not have to rely on hyperbole.
I hired more people this year than I did last year. Everybody that I know has hired more people.
Thank you, Austin, for proving you cannot answer a question honestly. It doesn't matter if it's a yes or a no question. You are obviously aware of the national numbers, that the job numbers that were originally published were way overinflated, and then when they were adjusted, went down to something like between 10 to 20% of their costs. Businesses right now are hurting, and a lot of people are terrified to hire because of how much they are hurting. And by the way, Austin, we took you at your word to engage the argument. I suspect you're also lying a shit ton about your business. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't even have a business. You probably work at Arby's. And you know what? That is good, honest work, and I hope they pay you more and you get into a union. But in the meantime, I am done with your dishonest ass, because with 20 minutes left, you don't deserve the time more than any of the other two callers. Go bye, Austin.
I just want to come from a metric standpoint, and by every metric that we measure it, small businesses are currently hurting in the economy. Like you said, job numbers are down. The SBI is down. And I think it shows a real level of just what's the word for not being able to just see the forest through the trees, of going, well, why couldn't they just drop $250,000 and eat that cost to onshore manufacturing for whatever it is they do?
If I did it, everybody else can do it. They should just pull themselves up by their bootstraps, which my favorite response is, I will buy you the bootstraps if you show me how to physically pull yourself up by them. Because this is one of those sayings where people love to say it, and they don't realize that it's like when people say about cops, it's just a few bad apples. And I always go, finish the saying. What is the rest of the saying? What's the end of that saying? No, it's just a few bad apples. It's a few bad apples ruin the barrel, you moron. It's not, the saying isn't a few bad apples. It's a few bad apples ruin the barrel.
Spoil the bunch.
Spoil the barrel. Yeah. Is it bunch or barrel? Bunches are apples.
Bunch.
Or bananas.
Apples are bunches.
Are they?
What if you don't put the apple? But you're doing barrel. It could be bushels, but you're saying barrels. Like, barrel is just what you put them in.
Yeah. But
what if I put them in a box?
Just a few. Well, then that would be so few. That's not that many people getting spoiled.
No, but I'm saying if I put the apples in a box, then a few good apple, right? If I put the apples in a box, then the few bad apples wouldn't spoil those because they're not in a barrel.
We did. I'm sorry, but ChatGPT says that the full saying is, a few bad apples spoil the whole barrel.
Ask ChatGPT to make you a wine glass that is full. Don't act like ChatGPT is what we're gonna use now.
You can use any other
ChatGPT is so
You really
stupid.
think that the history of a saying is something ChatGPT can't come up with?
Yes.
It's ChatGPT 5. It used thinking.
Because guess what? When I Google it, a few bad apples spoil the bunch.
You're doing the autocomplete, not asking what is the original saying. I fully agree that people colloquially believe that the saying is, a few bad apples spoil the bunch. I was already aware of that. I was corrected in the past, having used the wrong way before, to find out that the original
You're also
saying is
wrong.
the
original saying is, a rotten apple quickly infects its neighbor. So we're both wrong.
Well, first of all, that's a different saying.
No, that is the exact. You said what's the original saying?
No. If I say complete the saying, a few bad apples, you can't go to, with the original completion of that would be a completely different sentence. It's a similar concept.
No, but it's still the same. That's where it came from.
What is the original saying?
It came from, a rotten apple quickly infects its neighbor.
I do enjoy being with somebody
in the 19th century, it turned to as
whether they're
so
wrong.
pedantic. I'll fight over it. I'll fight over everything. Yeah. As one bad apple spoils the others, so you must show no quarter to sin or sinners.
Now find one that actually begins. The original saying that begins with a few bad apples. By the way, ChatGPT 5 made me a wine glass that's full.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Did they finally fix that?
I'll show you. I'll send it to you on Discord right now.
I don't use ChatGPT like you.
I've been trying 5 since it came out this week.
I conserve water.
I usually use Perplexity. How do I... Oh, I have to download it, maybe? I usually use my other computer, which has a screenshot shortcut ready to go. Oh, this one works. Never mind. Okay, and I'll paste it into chat.
Linguists such as Ben Zimmer have pointed out the proverb began to be used in the opposite sense of the 20th century, instead stating that a few bad apples are not representative of a group. According to Zimmer, this usage may have corresponded to the change. That's not what I want to know. I want to know the origins. Okay.
So
the bad apples metaphor
it.
originates from the proverb, a rotten apple quickly infects its neighbor, first recorded as used in English in 1340. The proverb was rephrased by Benjamin Franklin in Poor Richard's Almanac in 1736, stating, the rotten apple spoils his companion.
Still doesn't start with a few bad apples. But we have 15 minutes and neither of us are going to give on this, so let's get this last theist in. Our apologies to Casey. We're probably not going to have time for your call. You can stick around in case this one ends up being quick. Josh in California. Sorry that I'm snacking people. Unfortunately, I have to right now. Josh in California, you are on the line with Jovan and Jimmy.
Hi, Jovan, Jimmy. It's nice to be with you. I'm a theist. This is my first time calling.
How would you finish the saying, a few bad apples?
Wait, I have a dunk on Jimmy about the apples thing really quickly, Josh. I have such a dunk.
Wait, let Josh answer first. How would you finish it? A few bad apples. Yeah. Josh, how would you finish? A few bad apples.
I'm sorry, I'm lost.
Finish the saying. A few bad apples. What? Keeps the doctor away. Obviously. All right, go ahead, Jovan.
Oh, okay.
Also, Jimmy's wine glass is not full. Second,
how is that not considered full?
Jimmy's, just so everybody remembers, Jimmy's issue was mine was colloquially used. Was a few bad apples spoil the bunch. Like that was just true.
That has become the common use. Not as common as using a few bad apples in isolation.
His isn't even a few. The original sentence was one bad apple spoils the barrel. So you who keeps going, but it needs to start with a few. Secondly, that one was a colloquial misappropriation of the original phrase. So also, So we're both wrong.
No, I'm glad that you agree that the word is barrel and not bunch, because that is the original conflict.
It's still bunch. They were both just regionally specific colloquial ways of saying it.
Apples I thought were bushels. I think barrel is meant to be
either way, barrel is the container. It's held anyway. Hi, Josh.
Hang on, I'm looking. Bushels or pounds. Apples are not measured in bunches. Sorry, bud. Go ahead, Rob.
That sentence didn't make any sense. Go ahead, Josh.
Sure. I'm a theist and just happened to come across your program, and I wanted to argue that Christianity is actually a net positive for the U.S. And primarily the reason why is that Christianity provides a moral foundation that acts as I guess you would call it an internal buffer. And there are actually some empirical studies that have been conducted to demonstrate this. Like, for example, there was a Pew Research Center study done in April 2016, and it showcased how religious Americans' lives are different from people who don't have a religious
from what year
background.
2016. I have it right here. I'll link it to you.
So let me, because we have to be a little bit expeditious because we do have only 11 minutes left. Sure. I'm going to give you the quick versions and you can give your rebuttals to any of them of why what you're describing is incorrect. So first of all, of course, to an individual, if you live in a Christian society, you will benefit by being a Christian. That's not the question at hand. The question at hand is whether or not, I guess, put differently would be, would a secular humanist America benefit the most people, or would Christianity, a Christian America, benefit the most people? And so my assertion would be that it is the secular humanist, not the foundationally Christian, because the foundationally Christian society that began this country brought with it slavery and Christian biblical justification. Fast forward to today, we can go through a whole bunch of different things that were also from that Christian foundation. But fast forward to today, you would see the newest version of that being Project 2025, which is a Christian nationalist, but still a Christian foundation, Bible justified thing. So as far as overturning those things in the past, like slavery, when they did it, while you might argue it was Christians who did it, it wasn't Christians with a solid philosophical basis rooted in the Bible. It was in fact more of an empathy-based, more consistent with secular humanism based group of people who were trying to treat people the same, closer to the same, despite that Christian foundation. So I would argue that most of the terrible things that are foundational to our country are themselves founded in Christianity and Christian nationalism. And it has been, as a country has defied that to more Christian, rather secular humanist tendencies, that the country has improved and recovered from those things. Now, I'm happy to pass it back to you unless Jovan has something you wanted to add to that.
I just think that the questions that this poll asked don't really tell me anything about whether the country is better. It just tells me that Christians, according to this poll, have like general higher level of happiness, sure, but I would just argue that like anybody in community tends to have higher levels of happiness, and people who are religious tend to be in community settings. So yeah.
But straight people are happier than queer people in America because America is made for straight people much more than for queer people. America, while not being like founded as a Christian nation, is culturally a Christian nation, and clearly we reinforce that. So of course you are going to be happier. We actually see that the happiness indexes, when you go to whole societies and evaluate a Christian society next to a country that is secular, that the happiness indexes rise when you're comparing country to country, as opposed to comparing the state of one group under a country with a dominant culture. That's more of a direction at Josh. I think Jovan knew all of that. So Jovan, what would you say in response to any of that?
No, it's all good to me. I want to hear Josh's response. Oh, okay.
Sure.
You got your J's mixed up again.
All J people look alike to
me. For my rebuttal, I don't actually dispute your broad level framework, but I will say that Christianity also evolves, like with scientific understanding. For instance, in prior years, it was very common for Christian organizations, for Christian churches, to say that the Bible is perfectly inerrant. And if you look at church websites today, you'll find that actually relatively few use that term inerrant, because as people like a biblical scholar, I think his name is Dan McClellan, as he has demonstrated, there are inconsistencies or even outright contradictions within the Bible that forced intellectually honest Christians to realize that this is not perfectly inerrant. So you'll find that the language has evolved from inerrant to authority or inspired.
Josh, Josh, again, we have to be a bit expeditious here, so I'm just going to cut there. Sure. and kind of respond to some of the things you're saying. First of all, if you're going to cite Dan McClellan, who is a believing, tithing-paying member of the Mormon Church of Jesus Christ, meaning he financially supports a LGBTQ queer hate organization, despite the fact that he personally seems to be a better person than that, there you even have an example of a person whose evolution more towards secular humanism makes him probably a good person day by day, continuing to do the evil act of financially supporting a queer hate organization. So this would, I think, even undermine the very point you're making, that even those who evolve end up in systems by which they are still doing evil. And if you want to argue that the good that they're doing outweighs it, I might even agree Dan McClellan's probably a better person, and the good he is doing is probably larger than the bad he is doing through supporting the Mormon Church. But I'm not going to, I don't think you have to have both. And so at the end of the day, Josh, would you agree that Project 2025 is specifically a Christian nationalist agenda?
It is a Christian nationalist agenda.
And would you agree that it would not have any shot at passing in a secular humanist society?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Would you agree that Project 2025 would not have the ability to succeed in a secular humanist country, even if we were just mostly not by constitution the way some Christian nations are? If we were a mostly secular humanist nation, Project 2025 would not have any chance. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I think, I would agree.
Then I would contend you probably agree with me generally. And right now it's maybe about preservation of your own belief because you don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, if you will. But I think you have to, because I think that Christianity isn't just evil in the way it's being practiced, but it's also untrue. And so a progressive like yourself, Josh, who I much prefer, still has a system that is built on a concept of faith. And therefore your foundational reason for believing in your progressive Christianity is still the same foundation that those who believe in a more fundamental Christianity who haven't evolved like you have, and you don't have a leg to stand on when saying to those Christians, you can't believe those things about Christianity based on faith because they hurt other people, because hurting other people would have no cancer exists despite the fact that it hurts other people. Your faith has no bearing on the truth. So foundationally, you believe in Christianity, so you are inflating the concept of America being a Christian nation. But on top of that, your foundation that you have said is an acceptable reason to believe in Christianity, you can't debunk anybody else's belief in a more evil Christianity. And at the end of the day, if you're allowed to believe in your terrible or in your great version of Christianity that's progressive on the basis of faith, how is it that they're not allowed to believe in their terrible version based on faith? You don't have to answer right now. If you want to take some time to chew on that, go back and watch it again and call back and see. I understand that that's probably a challenge you haven't heard worded before and something you want to take on board before you answer brashly. And then
I
jump
would.
down
I'll actually I'll relook at review this this video and think about what you just said, because I can't provide an answer at this moment. But I just want to say,
Jovan, did you have anything for Josh?
Nope.
Oh, sorry. We're heading toward a wrap here, Josh. So I just want to see if Jovan had anything for you, and then we gotta get going. Jovan?
I'm sorry. Say that again. I thought you were talking to me. Are you talking to me?
No. Did you have something for Josh? Anything left after all that? Cool. Josh?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sounds like we're good. We're probably gonna let you go there. But do call back in a future one when we have more time. But we're down to the 2-minute mark, and we got to redirect the traffic back over to the Sunday show after dark. But we very much appreciate the call.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yep. Sorry to the one call we didn't get to. It just be like that sometime. America's kind of going down the shitter. It might be over. I don't know. It might be over before too long. Jovan, why don't you take last thoughts? Tell people where to find you. Why you think that
find me
apples are bunches.
Find me at Jovan Bradley on everything. I just actually dropped the second episode of my podcast, Critical Mass, with Arden. Arden is my second guest, so go check that out. It's on my media company's page, Red Mirror Media. Follow me everywhere. I think America's going to the shitter because it won't get rid of capitalism, and capitalism is going to be the death of all of us. So be prepared.
Awesome. I don't know why people are saying I'm 1 second before I don't know. There's a lot of audio stuff to figure out. We'll have it done by next time. But please stay tuned. All you have to do is stay with this window, and it should automatically redirect you back to the line where the Sunday show After Dark featuring Owen Morgan and Dr. Aaron Adair, who will also be on the first episode of LionCon Online Live this coming Saturday, giving presentations with Matt Dillahunty on various topics and then doing a Q&A. If you want to join that, you need to go to patreon.com/calltheline and join the $15 tier or above. But that is it for us today. It is 7 o'clock. We will see you at this time next Sunday, but also I think other days too. What a great outro. I don't have this